Hello, everyone, and welcome today to Mark Noel Horsemanship. Here we are with Moie. Moie is the 3-year-old American saddlebred filly that I've got in here. I've had her in here a few weeks now. I've got a lot done with Moie. She's doing her groundwork very well. I was able to get a sear single on her and a tail crupper. I'm sure some of you all have watched that one. If you haven't, you may scroll back and catch up on the videos with Moie. Saturday, today's Monday. Saturday, I put a my saddle on her for the first time, and it was quite a rodeo. You know, she bucked around pretty good, but that's okay. It's pretty normal. And today's going to be the second time that we put the saddle on her. And I'm a little different than most folks that do this. I get them really settled with whatever new thing that I'm doing with them first before I go to anything else. So today will just be a sort of a quick session with her. Hopefully, it'll just be a saddling session and get her saddled and get her moving around with it and get it off of her and quit on a good positive note. Forgive me for sniffing and maybe even doing some coughing. I've got some sort of head cold here, but hit all pass this week, I'm sure. And so just want to tell y'all sorry about the sound of my voice and maybe me sniffling and a snotting a little bit. So, but that's just the way it goes. But I'm just going to move Zoe around. All I've done with her so far is brush her, and I'm just going to move her around just to make sure she's listening, make sure she's settled, get a little bit of that stall energy off. I always have to tell about Moie's. I always want to call her Zoe. I always want to tell about Moie's sides right here. She had a reaction when she came from the owner's barn from some oak sawdust. But she's healing up real well. She kind of galled her hip and her belly right there where she laid down in the stall at night on that oak sawdust. Her skin just didn't agree with it, and so that's what you're seeing with Moie. It's healing up very well. She's starting to get a nice shiny coat on her, and she's doing really well. We got the veterinarian coming this Thursday, and he's going to vaccinate her and give her, going to pull her wolf teeth, and I think she needs a float job. I felt some pretty sharp points in there, so going to get all that done Thursday, and just rolling right along with Miss Moie. Saturday, I was able to also get her front hooves trimmed. I could have probably trimmed her back hooves. She's got one that's kind of chipped off right there, which is nothing detrimental. She'll be okay. But Saturday, it was just a cold day. Actually, today's pretty nice here in Virginia, but in Rural Retreat. But Saturday wasn't all that nice, and I was pretty tired, so I just didn't do her back hooves. But we'll do them here this week, and she'll still be on might as well say the same schedule with both front and hind hooves on getting her trimmed. And just like I said, just make sure Miss Moie is warmed up here real good. I don't think that she will, which I'm not going to say that. I don't know how she's going to react to the saddle. The only thing that I can tell you all is that sometimes when you saddle one and they have a pretty good blow up like she had on Saturday, that the second saddling might not go as easy because she knows what's coming. Saturday when I saddled her, I had put the saddle on her a couple times, but she didn't really understand exactly what it was that we was doing. But now that she knows, it could be a touch and go thing. The main thing is you don't want these saddles you don't want them to get away from you and a wreck to happen, like maybe getting the saddle twisted around and up under her belly. I've seen that before. I actually have had it happen, and it's not a polite thing to see, to witness, and it's quite an adrenaline rush, if you will. And I would just for horse and human, and I would just really prefer that didn't happen. So I do everything I can to prevent that. So we're just going to bring her in here, and these horses, they don't understand that my big broad hat here can hit them, so they sort of get whacked with the brim of my hat every now and then. So we're just going to go at it as if she's going to be perfectly fine with it. And the thing you got to be on your toes about sometimes is them just anticipating what's getting ready to happen and maybe just running out from under this saddle or taking off right now. I'm going to trust her that she won't. Right now, if she was to run off, I don't want her to. I don't want her to do what I'm getting ready to say, but right now, if she was to run off, the saddle would just fall off, and that would be better than getting it hung under her belly. But I don't want that to happen at all. So we're just going to hang in here with her. We're going to cinch her slow. I've got some kids that should know better by now, but they keep running around the back of the barn, and I'll have to kind of give them the old dad look here in just a minute. And until I get this saddle on her, they need to kind of be still. It's good to break horses to noises and things, but when you're saddling one, it's good to keep everything as still and quiet as you possibly can, because you don't want them to get away. There's a point in time right here that's pretty crucial on this saddle being on or rolling under her belly, and you just want to be successful at it. You don't want something bad to happen and set you back for weeks, And that back girth is not tight at all. Now she'll blow her belly out against it probably, and really pretend that she's got a real issue with it. Maybe, I don't know. She might not, but we're gonna move her out right here. Now I don't spook her out. I just let her go out at her own pace right here. And if she finds a need to really go to town with that thing, then that's all right. But she's about over. And if you watch them wrinkles right there on her side, it's not the front girth that makes some of these horses carry on like that. It's that back girth, because you could see her. She was tightening up her sides. Watch that back girth. I don't know if Burgundy can zoom in or not, but you could see how loose that thing is. And when she stopped right there, she was actually blowing her belly out against it. Now, why was she doing that? Well, that's a natural resistance in it. When they feel something that's hindering them, they push against it to try to get it to go away. So that's what goes on with that back girth. She's had a front girth constriction, the constriction of a front girth. She's had it on several times with the sear single. But that back one's a little bit different. Now, I like to start them all with a back girth, personally. I have had some that were too young-minded, and they just couldn't handle it. Man, it would really rock their world. So I have taken it off of a few colts. I think only one, to be honest with you, maybe two or three. I've done, not bragging, but I've done quite a few, and I can't keep them all straight in my head. But she'll get over this in a day or two. That little deal she just did wasn't in. Now, if you watch her, I want you to watch her. What we're dealing with now is like the stirrups and the saddle strings. The saddle strings are bouncing and carrying on, and you'll watch that far ear over there, girls. You'll watch that sorry about that. You'll watch that far ear over there. Really start to look at that stirrup and them saddle strings, and she'll start maybe kicking out a little bit. See right there, there was a little something. Now you just what you got to do in these situations, y'all, when horses are, I don't know if y'all saw that or not, but I did. She's kind of jumping and catching every now and then and tightening up. You got to work them through this stuff. There ain't no sense in crawling up there. She's not nowhere near a second time that she's ever had a saddle on. She's not nowhere near ready for a foot to go in that stirrup yet and a leg to swing over her. I don't know how long it'll be. I'll be honest with you. I hope it ain't too much longer. But I try not to put no time frame on it. I just say she'll let me know when she's ready. That's what I've always said. And they will. They will let you know when they're ready. See right there? That's just her kicking at them saddle strings and things. That's just things she's going to have to deal with. Now, with time, as she goes on, I could maybe, see right there, she's just kicking at that stirrup, maybe them saddle strings. I don't know. Now, a lot of folks would say, well, we'll tie your stirrups together or do something with the saddle strings. No. Just watch yourself over there, honey. Just let her kick at it. She's gonna find out that it's not gonna hurt her, and that's all it is. She's not being bad by doing that. She's just protecting herself. She's doing exactly what she feels like she needs to do. I'm not mad at her for it. That's between her and them saddle strings or the stirrup, whatever she's kicking at. That's between her and it, not me. I say, hey, y'all work it out amongst yourselves over there. I'm just here to support you. See there? Now, there's a slew of people out there, and this is not for laughs or making fun of people, but there's a slew of people out there that wouldn't understand what she was doing right there. And they would think she was mean or that she just hated the saddle or whatever. This mare is a good mare. She really is. She's a good-minded mare, but she just thinks them saddle strings are, see, I like that. See that change right there? I like that change when she dropped that head and just walked. That's what we're looking for right there. Now that right there is worth gold. When they make that change on their own, because I wasn't pushing her around through here, making her trot. She was doing that on her own. So, and the reason I bring that up is because she was actually not panicking, but she was trotting around in here out of a little bit of fear and kicking out at them strings. But when she stopped right there and dropped that head, and she's licking them lips real nice and loose now, that's not a fear. I heard Pat Puckett on YouTube say one time that, and I believe him, that not every time that a horse licks their lips is relaxation. Sometimes they lick their lips out of fear. And it depends. Now that blowing, I don't know if y'all heard her or not, but she right there, she blew a couple times. Now this is all just relaxation and breaking down and accepting. Acceptance is what I would call it. She's finally accepting things, and that's a good sign in a horse. But you see, the thing is, at a walk, I'm going to let her walk right here. I'm going to relish in this just a moment, and I'm going to let her just wear that saddle. But the thing is when they're walking, there's no energy in the saddle or anything else. So you really don't know what you got until you move her around again and make things start moving again, like the stirrups or the saddle strings. And that's going to tell you, if she truly accepted it right here, or she just finally figured out how to not make them move, because she'll figure out by walking, things don't bounce, things don't make noises. Well, I don't want her just to not do it and accept it. I want her to accept it even when it's making noises and moving around. So we'll move her out right here and just let her have that head. See, I got to let her have her head right here. Y'all seen my videos to where I teach a horse to when they're going around this circle in here to keep their nose towards me and to keep that hip going away from me. But right here, I want to let her have her head. I want to let her see the other side of her over there. If she's got her head tipped to me, she'll never figure out, never be able to give her a chance to watch that other side. And I'm being distracted because I feel like something's going on. Is everything okay, honey? Okay. Nothing ever happens until you start videoing around here, but nothing's happening. Burgundy said everything was cool, but as soon as you video, the UPS man comes, the neighbor comes home, the dogs get in a fight, the kids start screaming, and these videos are nowhere near as important as the kids, don't get me wrong. But I like that. See that change again? I really like that. The only crow that I have to pick with my kids right now is they've got a playmate here with them today, a friend of the family, and they're back here screaming and carrying on. I think they're just playing, but they're catching crawdads back there. And but when they go to doing that, hollering and stuff, it makes me wonder if everything's okay. And they don't do that until you start videoing. But everything's cool. A while ago when I hollered girls, that maybe sounded a little abrupt to a lot of folk that may be watching, but I'm still old-fashioned, me and my wife are. We believe in a firm hand on our children, not to abuse them, but we do believe in whippings, and they do get them. So, sorry. Well, I don't apologize. I won't get into that right now. That's a big subject, but I did holler at them real firm in the video a while ago, and that's okay. But they know mine and their mommy's voice. When it's a certain tone, they know they better straighten up. So we'll move her out this way just a little bit. You can see her worried right there. And what I'm going to do right here, see, I did ask her to trot out a little bit, but I'm not pushing her now. So she's doing that on her own. Point being is she's doing that out of a little bit of trying to outrun that saddle, or maybe just try to get away from it a little bit. So I'm not going to do anything. It's between her and that saddle. I'm just here for moral support. And I'm just going to let her trot this out, and hopefully she'll give me that good change of dropping that head, and right there goes the head, and really just coming down into the walk, and there comes the walk, and just really accepting things. You can see her right there wanting to face me. I'm just going to send her on out anyway and ask her to walk around in here. And I think this would be a good time. Now this is very important right here. Very important what I'm getting ready to do. And what I'm getting ready to do is quit. It's very important that we do this. It's very important that you notice that slightest change in your horse. And when you get that slightest change in something that you've been working on, and you quit, that lets that horse know that right there's where happiness comes from, is when they accept that thing, whatever it may be, whether it be loading in a trailer. You know, I just watched an old video of Ray Hunt right before me and Burgundy come down to the barn to get started on the horses right after lunch a while ago. And it was an old trailer loading video of Ray Hunt. And I've heard about him, and I've seen some quick little 10-second videos on him, but I've never really seen his character and heard him talk or anything like that. Of course, I know he's passed on now, but I've never seen it. That was the first video I ever heard him talk and actually seen him work. And he was so simple, and it made me feel better about myself, because I don't know if anybody out there can raise their hand and say the same thing or not, but things has gotten so out of control with the wow. I call it the wow factor with horses. You know, you got people that's putting horses in vehicles and riding them around an arena, and all that's great, man. I tell you, it's amazing what you can get done with a 1,000-pound animal. I think it's awesome, but the wow factor is so high these days that to be simple and just get a horse to load in a trailer that's never been in one, or one that's got a problem loading in a trailer, and you see that slightest change in them, and you reward that slightest change, that simplicity of the horse world, unfortunately, is not noticed. And that's where I'm still at. And it done me good to see that video of Ray Hunt, because he didn't do anything fancy. That horse run over top of him, and he pulled it around a few times, and he made the trailer a good place. And he let that horse know that that horse wasn't going to just run by him. And I mean, like I said, it's hard video to explain unless you watch it, but it was so simple. And I think that's where we're at these days. And we're also, and I'm not going to get to preaching to y'all, but it's also where we're at with Christianity and churches and things like that. We've made this so complicated. We've turned churches into businesses. We've turned churches into a fundamental type step-by-step process of how to live for the Lord. And, you know, living for God and horse training, or horsemanship, I'll say, let's rephrase that. Living for God and being and walking the Christian life and horsemanship is so simple, but we have made it so complicated. So that's going to be my ending, and then I'm going to take this saddle off. I just want to tell y'all out there, my buddy Dylan, I stole his saying, and I put it on my hashtags on all my videos, is just keep it simple. Dylan told me that some time ago when I first got to communicating with him through texts and a few phone calls. I've never shook hands with Dylan, but I've talked to him quite a bit. Y'all have heard me talk about him in videos. Dylan's a good horseman. But ever since I heard him say that, keep it simple, I've used that as a hashtag in my videos, and I'd like to use that in some of my sermons sometime. Keep it simple. We've gotten so complicated in life, and life shouldn't be that way. But so by me quitting right now, and since I did talk a little more than what I thought I was going to do by quitting her, I am going to move her around one more time, because sometimes they sit there and they fall asleep. and they forget they got that saddle on. And before I go to take that saddle off, I need her to realize that that thing's still on her. So I'm just going to move her out to my left right here, and had to smack her on the shoulder out to get her to move her feet, and that's okay. And so that's all I wanted to do was remind her that that saddle was on there. And then we'll come in here and we'll just simply take this saddle off. Now, taking the saddle off is about as near as important as putting one on. And by what I mean is doing it correctly and making sure nothing, kind of going the extra step to make sure nothing goes wrong. What could go wrong? Well, a lot of things could go wrong. You could undo your front cinch first and not your back, and she move, and that saddle twist right around her. So what do you want to do? You want to take your back cinch loose first. Get it hanging down there out of the way to where there's no strings attached, so to speak. And then take your front cinch off. And then I always like to come over here. I like to get it ready for the next horse, if you can remember where the girth goes on the next horse, and I kind of do. So the next horse I'm going to have get out is going to be a notch longer, so I like to get it ready for the next horse. And then I like to put my cinches up, hang my stirrups on my cinches on my mule ear. These little tabs hanging off your saddle here that people don't know what they are, they're called mule ears, and that's what they're for. They're for hanging your cinches on. Keep them up out of the dirt. And then when I pull this off of her, I just want to do it nice and clean and pretty and smooth. May let her smell that thing right there just a moment. And then just take it over here and put it up. Just that simple. So I'll put this saddle down here, and then I'll say my farewells and close this video out, and that'll be a good little session with Miss Moie. Now, coming up, the next videos you'll probably see me doing is a little bit of ground driving. Now, I call it ground driving. The saddlebred world calls it long lining. Same thing. I'll get her long. I'm pointing over there because that's where the sear single's hanging. But we'll get her long. We'll get her long lining in the sear single and in the western saddle with the lines run through the stirrups, and get her broke to doing that. And after her wolf teeth are pulled on Thursday, starting next week, we'll start to put a bridle in her mouth and just let her chew it. And hey, before long, we'll be crawling on Miss Moie here. I think it'll be fun. Matter of fact, I know it's going to be fun. So anyway, I just want to thank you all again. God bless you, and have a wonderful day.